Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hate to say it, but I'm not doing the best right now with my May TBR. Here are all the books I chose blindly in my May TBR video. Some of these will be in future reading vlogs to come. The only two books that I can't seem to fit in another video, hence me filming this Can I Finish My May TBR video, are going to be Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerri Maniscalco and The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, both of which I'm really excited to read. I'm going to be starting with Stalking Jack the Ripper because when I read the back of this book, it was so intriguing. I just can't wait to dive into this, and I also heard that there's cross-dressing in here, and I've never really read that in a book, so I'm interested to see how that's being implemented. Alrighty, let me read the back for you guys. He murdered women in cold blood. He terrorized an entire city. He taunted those of us who hunted him down. But despite all these horrors, in the end, I couldn't deny it. I was the girl who loved the Ripper. That's crazy. I don't know why I didn't put two and two together. Even though the title is literally Stalking Jack the Ripper, I didn't realize that this was going to be a romance between the FMC and the Ripper. Now I'm really excited to pick this book up. Is it bad to say I'm excited to read a book about a romance between a girl and Jack the Ripper? It might be, but we all know that bookmen and real life men have two different standards. Things that are acceptable in books are not acceptable in real life. If I'm in love with Zayd Meadows, I'm not about to go find a real life version of him, okay? With that out of the way, let's get reading. Just a fair warning, if you guys are gonna pick this book up, it gets really gory and goes really into detail about the forensics and the autopsies that they perform. It also gets really graphic when it talks about the murders and how the bodies are being found. I don't really mind it, but I know some people might, so just know that going into this. I'm further into the book now, so let me give you guys a proper synopsis. The book follows our FMC Audrey, who takes after her uncle's passion in forensic science, where they basically perform autopsies. Unfortunately for Audrey, in the 1800s London, women were not allowed to do a lot of things. To make matters worse, she's also an aristocrat, so she's expected to socialize, gossip, and even get married, all while there's a killer on the loose. But what I love most about Audrey is literally the fact that even though she's constantly being told what not to do, she continues to defy that. She even goes as far as to cross-dress and sneak into her uncle's class in an all-boys school, even though she's not supposed to draw attention to herself because she doesn't belong there. Her uncle's best student catches on to her ruse. He seems to be the love interest in the story, but there's also no indication that he's the Ripper in the slightest. I'm also not that far into the book yet, so I'm not sure how it ties into the back where it says I was the girl who loved the Ripper, but I guess we'll find out. Somebody commented on my videos and said that I should film somewhere outside my bedroom because I'm such a homebody and I only read in my bed or in my reading chair. So we're touching some grass and sprucing it up by going to the park right now. I'm sorry if you guys hear a lot of car or bird noises, but hopefully it's more relaxing than it is disruptive. I'm a good way into Stalking Jack the Ripper now. I'm on chapter 27. Something had happened earlier with her uncle that forced her full throttle into the investigation. I'm now at the twist portion of it, but after a while I was catching on to the Ripper's motives and I feel like I know who it is. But let's talk about the romance for a little bit because I feel like I went into this book thinking that the romance was a more prominent thing. Their romance is so sparse. It's basically based in forced proximity. I can see why they're together. They have the same interests and I feel like they understand how each other's minds work, but they really haven't done anything other than kiss. But I guess romance isn't supposed to be a prominent thing in this book. I'm gonna keep reading and I'll film my reaction to the twist that's coming up. I just finished the book and I predicted who the Ripper was, but him and his plans were actually pure evil. And I know the Ripper himself was actually evil incarnate, but this was actually insane to read about. The whole storyline itself was extremely gripping with the mystery element of everything, even though I knew what was gonna happen. I'm giving this book a 3.5 stars. If you guys are interested in picking this book up, just keep in mind that it does get very graphic and there are some images that are hard to stomach, plus the fact that it is more mystery than it is romance. Also, I highly recommend that you guys check out the author's note because that's where she mentions that she stays true to the victims' names, and I just really appreciated that element of the story as well. Since the weather is so nice outside and I don't have the physical copy of the fine print on me, I'm gonna listen to it on Libby and enjoy nature a little bit more. We're back in our usual setting. You guys were so right about leaving the house for a change. After that walk, I have never been more productive in my entire life. Unfortunately, I didn't realize I was flying through the audiobook until I was 55% of the way through it. So here is a big update because I have a lot of thoughts. A little bit about the book first, although I don't really know if this is necessary because this book was so popular on BookTok for the longest time. But for those who haven't heard much about the book yet, I just went to grab my physical copy, but the fine print follows Ronan and Zara, and Ronan's grandfather passes away and he was basically Walt Disney. They had the streaming services, they had the parks, and in order for Ronan to get his inheritance, his grandfather wants him to rejuvenate the magic in the parks. And so the grumpiest man alive is now forced to be in the happiest place on earth. And of course there he meets the happiest woman alive, and that is our girl Zara. Unlike rich boy Ronan, Zara is an employee of the parks and she gets promoted to be a part of the creative suite, and thus forth working really closely with Ronan to design certain parts of the park. And at first I was not the biggest fan of Ronan. That man cannot keep it in his pants. And I get that that's the point of a workplace romance, that they get together, but I kid you not, they literally kiss so early on in the book. Clearly I didn't love the book at first, but then we meet Scott, and every cute thing that Ronan does for Zara in the text messages just slowly chipped away at my initial distaste, and now I'm having the most fabulous time. I also loved the setting of the Disney park, and Lauren Asher goes into great detail about what the park is like and the magic that it brings. I also love the disability representation within this book and inside the parks through Zara's younger sister Ani. I hope that wasn't too long of an update, but I'm really tired and I'm probably gonna go to bed, so I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning guys. I just woke up and I put the book next to my bed so I could read it first thing in the morning. I'm so excited to dive back into Dreamland, and not like going back to bed Dreamland, but like the park in the book Dreamland. It's so early for me, but you know what I mean. I'm just gonna shush and get to reading. I'm almost at the end of the book, but tell me why Miss Lauren Asher thought it was necessary to include not one, not two, but 3 third act breakups. And by third act breakups, I basically just mean like miscommunication scenes, or like one pushing the other away, or just something not working out, and it's just throwing me off. Like I'm trying to root for them, but the miscommunication and the aspects of that just make me not want to. I'm just like, get your act together, people. Anyways, I'm gonna finish this up and then I'll give you my final thoughts at the end. I just finished the fine print, and I don't want to say that this book is overhyped because I know when I love a book, I can't shut up about it. So I can't really blame people for hyping up a book that they love. But for me personally, maybe I just had too high expectations going into this book. I genuinely thought this book was going to be a 5 stars for me, but the book itself is not bad at all. It's such a fun, quick, and easy read. I'm going to give this book 3.75 stars. It just didn't give me any 5-star feelings, and it kind of just fell a little bit flat in certain areas of the book. I'm still so obsessed with the Disney aspect of this book, and I loved Ronan's relationship with Ani and their little blossoming friendship. It was also super cute to see Ronan and Zara outside of the park setting and seeing that he remembers all these cute little things for her. And if there's one trope that will do it for me time and time again, is when a grumpy man who's super composed loses his control over a girl. Something about that just always eats. My only qualm with the book was that whenever everything was going super well, there was a bit of self-sabotage. Not even a bit, like a lot of self-sabotage. Regardless, I'm still gonna continue with the series. I'm so excited for Iris and Declan's book, and I think that's Terms and Conditions, which is the next book. Iris just seems like such a baddie, and I can't wait to read about her story, and Declan honestly seems much more of an ass and way grumpier than Rowan was, so I'm not sure if I'll like him because it really took a bit for Ronan to get on my good side, but we'll see. If you guys made it all the way to this point, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. It's that I'm working on something to give back to you guys. I'm so grateful that there's 1,000 of you guys now. I never thought I'd make it so far, and this might not seem like a crazy number to a lot of people. For me though, this is such a tremendous feat. It took me so long to get myself to upload my first video, and now we're here and I have all of you guys to share my love of books with. I read and respond to every single one of my comments, and I love starting conversations and becoming friends with you guys, and I'm so grateful for every one of you just being a part of my journey. So I'm working on a little something to give back to you guys. I'm not sure if it's gonna be in my next video or the one after that, but it's coming, don't worry. Just know that I love you, and I'll see you guys when I see you. Bye!